What's up? I'm Ayla.
Hi, I'm Beth Ann.
And this is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. It is Sunday, Series Sunday, the day of the week we talk about one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So, if you have not watched the series, you're missing out. We're talking Dear Doctor.
And if you haven't watched the series, turn back now or prepare to be spoiled because we're going to get into it.
There's a lot to this show. And it took me a second to get into. I really I was talking to Robbie earlier and I was like, you know, it takes a second sometimes when you like have been so attached to a previous series to like get used to new characters and new storylines and like
you were really attached to Grey Rainbow.
So it took me a second to get into this, but when I did, I like really appreciated and enjoyed it.
I liked the show from the beginning. I really like supernatural shows. I kind of always have.
Right.
So I was into this from the beginning. I took no convincing.
Yeah.
I really like supernatural shows. I really like all the people in this. I especially like Yacht. I have come to love Nut and Karn.
Yeah, same.
So
they killed it in this show.
I was into this from the beginning, even before I knew that I loved Nut and Karn. I jumped on that Karn bandwagon pretty fast.
Right.
So
it doesn't take much convincing.
It was. I mean, Karn's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like I vibe with Karn. We vibe.
Fully.
So.
Okay, let's get to the nuts and bolts before we really get into it. So it's 12 episodes. It's on iQIYI. That's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
We've had a journey with the name of this app.
I mean, so
it's
originally
Chinese.
we were just saying IQIYI. And then one of our followers told us it's actually pronounced Ichi, which makes sense if it's Chi-yi, then the I in front would be also E. Right. But then today I was on the TikTok. I was taking the talks and I saw that iQIYI had released some like Pride Month videos with stars of their shows. Right. And I was watching the Mile and Appa one.
Okay.
And so they're like Happy Pride from iQIYI.
It takes
So and it took me watching like a few of those videos to realize every single actor in those videos was saying iQIYI. And I was like, iQIYI produced these videos, so it must actually be pronounced that way.
And they do that fun little side story moment at the end of the series with Yacht and the girl who plays his eventual wife.
Right.
And they also do product placement and mention the app's name. And I was like,
iQIYI. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was produced by Wabi Sabi.
Studio Wabi Sabi, we stand. Always.
It has those Wabi Sabi markers.
Oh yeah, it's like big Until We Meet Again vibes, but like make it supernatural. Well, Until We Meet Again's already supernatural.
I know,
but it's like extra supernatural. Yeah. It's like make it ghosty.
Yes, which
no, Until We Meet Again is not ghosty. There are no ghosts.
No.
There are no ghosts.
They're all about the souls.
Right.
But Wabi Sabi loves a good soul moment.
We're literally meant to be together in death. Like this is the Wabi Sabi vibe is I will die loving you and I will love you after I die. Like that is the vibe at Wabi Sabi. And to be fair, like that's kind of how I feel about Boone. So like I get it.
I mean, Wabi Sabi knows what they're doing. And the music used in these shows is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. It stars Nut as Dr. Prakan. I love his Tumblr that he has with his name on it. And it has like a stethoscope that makes up the A. Listen, I love a Tumblr moment. Shout out Dark Lucas.
That Dark Blue Kiss Tumblr. I'm triggered.
Y'all, if you know how to get
I'm Dark triggered.
Blue Kiss, maybe Riken Topany, because they have it
potentially. No, I think their store's sold out. Whatever.
Yeah. And then Karn plays Tua Phee.
Tua Phee, aka
Ticket.
Yes. AKA they never call him that. Sayan? Promise.
Yes. We get some good Thai vocab lessons in the show because Tua Phee means ticket.
Yes.
And Sayan means promise.
Yes. And so frequently in the beginning, Dr. Prakan, Mo, Prakan, if you will.
Shout out Neo.
It's always like Kun Tua Phee, and it's like Mr. Ticket.
Yep.
That's very cute.
That is very cute.
Okay, synopsis time.
Yes.
Synopsis is interesting. I did have a glance, but it's time for the audiobook voice. As always in demand. I'm highly confused as to why this is always in demand. I will be honest with you. Like,
I think because you just like say it with such conviction, and you just like when you use a separate voice, kind of how we're always fascinated when actors speak English and they use they sound different.
Right.
And so it's just like
Okay, so I guess we can start calling it the synopsis voice.
There you go. I like it.
Dr. Prakan is a well-known surgeon dedicated to saving people's lives. However, while he is trying to save lives, he is constantly visited by the last person he could ever want to see. Death will show up every day, trying to take the souls of the people that the doctor is trying to save. They work for completely opposing sides. One must collect the souls of the dead. The other must save lives before they reach that state. Is it possible to fall in love with the one thing you try to avoid? And how can the love story between death and a doctor last? It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I know. So for so much of this show, it's not about the romance.
Right.
And I was like, how are they going to do this?
When I think that's what confused a lot of people, because I was into it from the beginning, and I don't know if I, just because I watched so many like supernatural type shows, that's why I was able to I clocked it real quick that he got his heart as a kid, right? His organs, because organ donor thing is a plot point really early on in the show with that the thief. I guess he's a thief who dies in a car accident. And he gives of his organs, and it's his last ditch effort to be a good guy. And you see Tua Phee is really moved by this, and it's it's a whole thing. And so I was like, that's what happened to him, because we had already gotten flashbacks at this point, and so I was like, that's what happened to him, and the little boy was in the hospital, and that's the doctor. I just real quick put two and two together. And so a lot of people, when they were first watching this, I saw the discourse on Twitter. Were like, this is kind of creepy that he wanted to be a soul reaper because he loves this little kid. Isn't that kind of weird? Isn't that imprinting? And I I said, as soon as they put in that whole little storyline about the thief giving his organs, being an organ donor, I was like, oh, that's what happened here. He became a soul reaper because he wanted to watch over the little boy that his organs saved. I didn't know, obviously at the time I didn't know it was his heart, right? That's a whole other spin. But I knew that there was some that was the I just figured it out. I was like, that's my guess. And so I pretty much from the beginning was like, this is what's happening. It's not romantic.
No.
He feels protective of this little boy because he wants to make sure he's okay and make sure he lives the life that he wanted to live, and he's happy because he never got to age and grow old, right? Because he died. So that's what the majority of the show is kind of focused on, the dramatics of that sort of dynamic playing out, and then also all the other characters, a lot of dynamics with the other characters.
I loved every single other character.
I don't know about you, but I did not realize, it took me a really long time to realize that the head doctor of the hospital is his dad. Because it literally wasn't until the moment, and I want to say it's episode 9.
I mean, the hospital's named after him.
I didn't put that together. I was just I don't know. I just thought it was a name. I didn't really look at the name of the hospital. I didn't, and I knew that they were related, but it wasn't and I knew that Yacht's character kept being oh, he's my uncle, right? The head of the hospital.
Okay.
But literally it was episode 9 or 10 when he's trying to resign, and he's see you later, cuz, basically, and calls Yacht his cousin, that I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's his dad. It took me a really long time. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. I clocked everything else. I clocked the big twist, but not that.
Well, and this show had a lot of little puzzle pieces. I imagine this show is a giant puzzle with a 1,000 puzzle pieces. And there's like a bunch of little tiny pieces that once you see the full picture, you're like, this is a beautiful story.
Which, by the way, is big until we meet again vibes.
True.
Like, that is how I would describe until we meet again to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have stuff like they're competing to be head of surgeon, but there's also this rumor that the dad rigged it so that he could get the heart, and then the heart belongs to Tua Phee, and he stuck around because he wanted to see this little boy grow up and become a doctor, and his heart to get the life that he didn't get to live.
Right.
And then you
and then the reveal of like that's why he can see him.
Yes.
I always thought it was because, like, at least as I was watching the show, until the reveal of that, I thought it was because Tua Phee like could reveal himself to who he wanted to reveal himself to, basically, if that makes sense. And so,
well, okay, and at the very end, I think he can reveal himself when he's in that Hawaiian shirt, because there's a conversation that he and
when he's not doing Soul Reaper duties,
right, when
like, outside of business hours.
Yes, when he's talking to Hat Soul Reaper.
Pisinto, if you will.
Ket is his character's name. When he's talking to him, he's like, you haven't changed into your shirt. You burned all your Hawaiian shirts. You haven't been out of your work clothes. He's like, do you not want people to see you? And so apparently that's also a factor. If he's in his black getup, he's like completely hidden.
But do we think it's the clothes or it's like, I feel
maybe
like
it's a both and.
I feel like it's more of like when you're working.
Right. Well, and he's in that outfit when he's working. Because he always would switch into that outfit. I didn't pay that close of attention to see like when he's seen by other people and when he's not, because he is in the hospital a bit with that Hawaiian shirt on with like dress down clothes, and so that could be
and the Hawaiian shirt, the nurse, the girl who ends up being Yacht's wife, she can see him like at the house, right, when he's in that Hawaiian shirt, right, during that car situation. But I didn't realize. I thought he was just like, he was able to reveal himself like as he wanted, until I want to say it's like episode 11 or maybe 12, where there's this reveal of like, oh, he could always see him because it was the heart connecting them, and that's why his heart would pound faster every time he saw him, not because of like love,
not because it's fluttering,
not because of love. It wasn't a heart fluttering moment. It was because of like a creepy supernatural situation.
That was a cute trope at the beginning that I guess it's like a little like hint nudge.
Well, I think that's why people thought it was weird in the beginning, why they were like, oh, this is a love story from the start and he was a little boy and that's weird, you know what I mean?
Right.
Until the reveal. That's why, like, you have to watch this whole show. You really have to get the whole picture of it before you say like, I can't get into it.
Also, here's the thing. We talk about wanting grown-up shows. This is a solid grown-up show. It's interesting. It's not an easy watch because you do have to pay attention and you have to focus, but man, these boys have incredible chemistry, and like I felt what they felt. Like, it was crazy because when you get to the end and they're sitting on the beach and they're holding hands, and Prakan gets old. And he, oh my God, he sets his hand down and I was like, it's fine. It's bittersweet, but they've like lived life together and it's fine. And then like Tua Phee stands up and he's like, appears to him and oh my gosh, he appears to him in like his young form, and they look at each other and they're like tears. And I was like, oh no, I'm not fine. This is not fine.
That didn't really get me. I think because like, it confused me more than anything because I was like, what in the he's coming to me?
Right.
Like, I was like, no. Like, we've moved past the little boy. Like, I get it. It was like from when they first met, but like,
no. I'm talking about when they were still standing on the beach and he was he was the age, the 20, 30 something.
But I mean, I wasn't even
sad. Very end with him as a little boy.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay,
here's the thing. Like, they believe in reincarnation.
Right.
But you don't get reincarnated to yourself. And I did that thing where I was like, he didn't have any children and he didn't have any siblings. So there's no way that his bloodline continued on and created another thing just like him.
Right.
I mean, I guess we all have doppelgangers and like
it was. I don't know.
like
that
people.
part was confusing. But
that.
even when they were like in their, I guess like adult forms,
yeah,
on the beach, that didn't even make me sad because I was like, oh, like good, they're together, like yay, like, it was we did the thing.
It was like bittersweet because I just appreciated
because he died. Because he died.
Because it was, and because of the fact that like that was it. Like it was a hard, like he's now gone. And Soul Reaper has to continue on doing his job, doing like Soul Reaper things, right? And I grew really fond of Karn in the show. Yeah. And so the fact that he lost the love of his life, he
lived a whole life, and he got what he wanted for him, which was for him to live. Because you have that moment when Prakan gets in the car accident and the ticket. That's what made me cry. I watched that episode by myself, and I was like ugly sobbing when that ticket popped up in his pocket and he flips it because I knew I saw the like blood dripping.
I know, I saw spoilers and I was like, oh my god, does he die already?
I saw the blood so I knew it was coming because actually Nut spoiled it for me. Right. Like I hadn't watched the episode yet and he posted on Instagram about it. And I was like, Bilkin. Why? Yeah, Bilkin did that to me too. Yeah. The difference is I literally I think like the day that happened or the day after that happened, I got to talk to Nut and like confront him about it.
Yeah, you were like, how dare you?
How dare?
But in that interview, he was like, did I though?
He was like, but was it a spoiler? And I was like, what? Anyways, I knew it was coming because I had seen this spoiler. Right. But when I watched that episode again, I was like by myself, because like you trifling. And I was like, I knew when he felt the ticket in his pocket, like I knew whose name was gonna be on it. But when he flipped it over and he saw, I started ugly sobbing, and then he like appears at the car wreck and they just like look at each other, and I'm just like dry heaving, like that's what made me cry. Not because he got to live a full life, and that's what like Tua Phee wanted for him, and that's like Tua Phee didn't want him to die, right? So like Tua Phee got what he like, a very fulfilled life, you know what I mean? And now he can like go on and do his job and like not, he's good, like he's fulfilled. Like that's how I felt about it. I was like, Tua Phee was able to live this fulfilled life even though he died. Right. Like he died, but he was able to have a fulfilled life. So I liked it.
One of my favorite moments in this show is that scene where it's the last scene that they're together, where they're talking about their life journey and they're talking about the practicalities of their relationship. And it's just like such a sweet moment because he's like, when I'm like old and gray and wrinkly, are you going to be okay? And he's like, well, you can't introduce me to your friends and family and we can't have kids and whatever. And it was just such like a sweet moment where I love those. It's supernatural and it's like definitely dramatic, but it's also like a real moment that like a lot of people have with their significant others where like you come together and you're like, okay, these are the sacrifices we're going to have to make because like sometimes we have different things that we want in life, or it was just such a real moment in a show that was a little over the top at times. And
I liked it.
It was beautiful.
Because anybody who's heard my rant about He's Coming to Me, like these are the practical elements that like take me out of the moment, that take me out of the show, where I'm like, hold on. Like, does he just like reincarnate forever, right? In the He's Coming to Me situation, where I was like, wait, let's talk about how this is gonna work. Like, does he become real? Does he never reincarnate? Like, how is this gonna work? Anyways,
because doesn't Tua Phee he won't be a Soul Reaper forever,
right?
He's like contracted,
yeah,
but they don't know if they'll be reunited
right. I mean, we never see them make merit together, so like.
Yeah, why didn't they do that?
They should have. I mean, maybe they did it and it just like wasn't shown.
But also the interesting part, the fact that they talk about the underworld, but then they also like imply reincarnation. So like, how does that work? Do you go hang out in the underworld for a while and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Earth and like
I mean, I don't know, because in the like He's Coming to Me universe, you are a ghost and you have to hang out by your grave, right? Until you're able to be reincarnated.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I did really appreciate that conversation because it was like, that's always what I struggled with. And for example, He's Coming to Me is I was like, what are the practicalities of having a ghost boyfriend? Like, I was like, how are you going to have a ghost boyfriend for the rest of your life? Like, how is that going to work? And so I did appreciate that. I will say, another reason I think people were like, "Oh, this is weird," was the fall kiss because first episode, it is one of the best fall kisses in BL history, in my opinion. Yes, Nut is fully naked, which I think like he went the extra mile. He really dedicated.
True, these 110% are exceptional. For Karn to not have acted for the last like 5 years,
right?
Props. These boys killed it.
But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, hold on, that fall kiss, neither one of those people enjoyed it. They both were like, huh.
Yeah.
And so like, which is how you would react to a fall kiss. Like, that's what I like about this fall kiss so much.
He like hits the road. He like runs out. He's like, oh God.
He's like, huh. Right? Like, which I love, because if you genuinely were like accidentally fall kissing someone, that would be your reaction.
Right.
And also, like, it looked uncomfortable. It looked painful, which, as we all know, a fall kiss would be painful. So, like, I just really appreciate this fall kiss. I think it might be the number one fall kiss in all of BL.
I love a good trope.
I love a fall kiss.
And fall kiss is definitely up there.
I love a fall kiss.
Man, the other thing that we were talking about is the fact that Nut can play sad so beautifully.
Oh my God, he is moving.
Oh, I mean, like, I felt what each of these characters felt, and especially Nut when he was sad over his mom. I
mean, the man has mastered a single tear.
I mean,
yeah.
Should we make a single tier Hall of Fame, which is like Gun?
Gun is a good single tier.
Fluke
doesn't single tier it though.
Really?
He's just a beautiful crier. He is just like the beauty in the tears. Oh my God. Yeah, I really love Nut's acting, because like I really love a boy that, or a man, an actor.
Yes, they're older adults now.
Where
not in their teens.
that acts with his eyes, where like he doesn't change anything about his face, doesn't change his eyebrows, doesn't change, like nothing happens, but you can just see a look in their eyes and you know what they're feeling. And I really appreciate that, because I feel like that is difficult
when a boy can water their eyes,
or when they just, even without that, even if it's just a look in their eye, just something changes in their eyes. There are a few people that do it, and Nut does it beautifully. Like I think in BL, like Sia is the best at it. I genuinely do. Like, just watch his eyes and you know exactly what you're supposed to be feeling as an audience member.
Yeah.
And I love that. And who else is it? Somebody in End of Love. I was just talking about this last night. I was like, but look at his eyes. I can't remember. Oh, War.
A classic.
I was like, but look at his eyes.
Right.
You can just see what you're supposed to feel, even though his face was like a blank slate. And I love that, because I think it's like challenging. Like, they're real actors.
It's true. I had a thought too that this reminds me, these two remind me a lot of Max Tool, but make it less spicy. Because again, this is very like adult, mature. Like, you have to pay attention. You have to like
grown up storylines.
Yeah. But also a lot to be said for two actors who are very good friends in real life and are so comfortable with each other that they trust each other, because like the intimate scenes were beautiful and convincing, and just like they were just like intimate. They didn't have to be super spicy. And then the emotion too, like you can really go there with the emotion with each other. Right. And I think it gives you more range when you have longevity with your partner. I like the idea of like, of course, new partners and partners like going their separate ways and then coming back together, because there's just something magical when you get two guys who like are comfortable, but they also loved the source material, as we found out in the interview, that like this was almost a passion project for both of them. Like, they really loved it.
Yeah, I loved the music in this show, because it was so dry. It felt to me at times like I was watching a soap opera, which like I dig. Like, that's not an insult.
It was like a Licorne,
well, I've never watched a Licorne, so I don't know for sure that it was like a Licorne. A ton of clips, but it felt to me like a US, like a Western soap opera in so many ways, and I was really into it.
The other thing that was wonderful about this show were the side characters.
Yes,
I loved each of these side characters. Our little side couples, our other side BL couple.
I mean, okay, listen. let's talk about the side BL couple because I've got to say the straight couple is frustrating for me.
Yeah. I mean, Yacht was frustrating because
I hated Yacht in this,
Yacht.
and I was so upset. I hated him.
He had a little character development.
No,
but
I literally hated him until episode 12.
Yeah.
No, he was more than grumpy. He was just like
jackass.
Yes, he was an outright ass.
Yeah.
For no reason.
He was like type, but make it just ruder
and pointless.
Yeah, pointless.
And like because it wasn't tied to emotion for him.
There was no childhood trauma that we know
like with type, he was like grumpy because he had like trauma,
like severe trauma.
That didn't happen here. Yeah. So like, and it wasn't like he wasn't grumpy because he was like working through his feelings. Like no, he is just a dick.
Yeah.
He's just a dick in this show, and it made me so upset because I love Yacht.
Okay, so this side couple, he's a nurse, right? That is in love with Prakan.
Yes.
Which I felt for him when he's trying to confess to Prakan
twice.
I love that he like Prakan almost dies and he's like, I have my second chance. Kheeta's like, I'm gonna do it.
I love the trope of I'm gonna love you enough for both of us.
I'm gonna love
you
because
that's such
I'm gonna love
a
you
mood.
Into loving me. Basically,
I wish that we had this like in the culture that I grew up in. Yeah. I wish that we had this when I was a teenager because I really feel like it would have helped. Like I would have been that bitch that was like I'll love you enough for the. I do now already now.
I feel like I've done that.
Yeah, I will love you enough for the both of us.
Accurate, but I loved their entire storyline from him being in love with Dr. Prakan and then them having this like fake like moment, which I kind of missed the beginning of that storyline of Nati saying that he liked Kheeta. Mm-hmm. And he was pretending to like him, and he
was never pretending. And Kheeta like clocks him. Kheeta's like, no, like I knew it wasn't pretend.
And then there's like that moment where he's like, Nati is drunk and he's like, I'm conscious. I know what I'm doing and I want you.
Yeah, these two brought the spice to the show. If that's what you're after, like look at these two. I really liked them. For the very small amount of screen time that T got.
Right.
I really like the character development. We got like his whole backstory, like from his childhood to adulthood, which is like solid.
They had incredible character development on this show. There were no questionable time jumps.
No.
There were no plot holes.
No.
This is a beautiful beginning to end told storyline. A few questionable moments involving children.
There were no plot holes as long as you can buy into the supernatural of it all.
Yeah. Even the underworld where they have the like I love that it's like in a forest. Like it's very like Originals / Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Where they love to go into the woods and add some smoke and be like, this is where we meet. This is where the supernatural people meet. Okay. But yeah, I also another one of my favorite scenes is this diner, but they go there to drink and there's no one else there.
Yeah.
It's an empty diner because it looks like a diner, not a bar. And it has one table and they're drinking at it.
I mean,
it's so funny, but it's the place where people go to get drunk because they're feeling emotion.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the neighborhood dive bar. It's like this used to be a diner and now it's just like a decrepit building and like there's I don't know like Allie Joe sells beers there now.
But the scene where Yacht and Tay are getting drunk, right? And they're like Broken Hearts Club. And we get, even though this is an adult BL, we get that Facebook inciting incident where it's like they've posted Broken Hearts Club and they're like, you're not brokenhearted because you haven't even confessed to the people that you like.
You can be brokenhearted.
It was just funny. And then of course the two show up and are like, what is wrong with you? We like you.
Yeah.
Do the thing.
I don't know. I don't think that Yacht's character, I can never remember his character's name because like he annoyed me throughout the whole thing.
Metha. They had some hard names in this
I don't think he deserved her.
No, she was wonderful.
She's wonderful and so nice and she cares about people and she's a good person.
She's so cool.
And he's not a good person.
And she yells at people when she needs to yell at them. She's very close to
She doesn't back down.
Yuwa and her are BL Girl Hall of Famers.
She like tells them when they're being stupid. Yeah. She's the best.
She is pretty great.
I love her.
But yeah, all these side characters, so many people almost die in this show.
Yes.
Die.
No, there's a lot of death in this show.
There's a ton of death.
People die. And I know, like, in the beginning, people were really upset about, like you knew, for example, that, like, his mom was gonna have to die. Yeah. And you knew that, like, the little girl's dad, right, was gonna die. Like, you knew all that was gonna have to happen. But it was, like, it happened really early on. And you're just like, death. Like, there's a lot of death in this show.
It reminded me, there's a K-drama that had Hong Suk in it, called Stairway to Heaven.
Yes.
And there was death in every episode of that show. And I was like, the end, I was like, why did I just watch that? That
Hong Suk.
That was a lot.
Yeah. For Hong. Yeah.
It was a beautiful show, but like, a lot of death.
Yeah.
But there's also some like sweetness. Another thing in the show, we get a young boy who plays other young BL boys.
Baby Pat. Baby Pat. Also, for everyone who still misses Bad Buddy. Yeah. Baby Pat.
Pat shows up. Yeah. A young Leon from Cutie Pie shows up. A baby Z. And then he plays young Prakan.
It's interesting that he plays baby Z and baby Om Pawat, because just look at a picture of those two side by side.
And baby Nut.
And tell me the same person could grow up to be all three of those guys.
I mean, listen, I've seen baby pictures from some of these BL boys, and like, if you look at like Boom's like childhood, for example,
Boom to Newt.
There's
800 Booms now, you guys.
True.
Yeah.
So the fact that Boom to Newt looks like he does now.
No, Boom to Newt was so cute. He still looked like himself, though.
I don't know.
He still looked like. I think Baby Boom was the cutest. I would love. I would love a little Baby Boom to come back to Boom now.
Oh, it's true.
We love a thick boy.
We do love some squish.
We do.
But yeah, you have a fun question, which is, do we think that these young actors who play young BL boys will become BL boys?
Are they going to grow up and get their own ship, right? Because we see this, right, with the little kid that plays Prakan and all of these other characters.
Yeah.
And then we see this in You're My Sky. The little boy that plays Tupfa also played. Did he play Nubsib's character? He wasn't Sib. He was Jean. He was young Jean in Lovely Rider. And so, like, he was a double, if you will. And then the little boy that played young Sia, young Torn, is in something else too. I saw him. And so, like, all of these, there's like a handful of boys that play like the young version of BL boys. I'm so curious if these kids will grow up to like become BL boys and someday get their own ship.
Side note, what's really funny is that the dad. Okay, here's the thing. All these older men, they all kind of look similar and blend together for me. But there's a BL dad that shows up a couple of times that actually might show up in this show, who actually did get his BL storyline in 5515.
Yes. Yes.
I forget whose dad he plays. Isn't he in the show?
And no, he's in another show we were just watching. Yeah. He's in La Cuisine.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Which, speaking of parents, check out this week's episode coming out on Wednesday, all about BL parents, moms and dads.
So cute.
It's about to be Father's Day in America, so might as well figure out the difference between all these older men that blend together.
Right, because in this show, Pete's dad from Dark Blue Kiss plays Nut's dad, I believe.
No. He plays a different doctor in the hospital.
Okay. He plays a doctor.
Every time Nut's dad would come on the screen, you'd be like, that's Pete's dad from Dark Blue Kiss. And I was like, no. It's not.
Oh, I need to make a chart. We need to make another chart.
There's a lot of charts.
There's a lot of charts that need to be made, especially in reference to ages of actors.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really did like this show. I did too. I might actually rewatch it a few times because
I'd rewatch this.
It was so beautifully.
This would be a fun like Halloween BL.
Yeah, man, Wabi Sabi just kills it.
Yeah,
I hope that holds true for Between Us one day.
I'm not going to tell you what I think about that Between Us teaser, trailer, whatever it was we got, whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
That's not what this episode is about.
Yeah. So yeah, we have merch.
You should buy it.
Yeah. Also, go watch our Nut and Karn interview.
Yeah.
They had some fun things to say.
We're vibing. We're 5 shrimps vibing. And you could be the 6th.
It's true.
It's true.
Stay tuned. This has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at